Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to go through with you my work week in very minute detail. So if you've ever wondered about what a fashion designer does on a day-to-day basis, this is the video for you. I'm going to go through each and every day what I'm doing, which includes the different kinds of meetings I have to go to, what I have to schedule into my diary, and also the kind of preparation work that I have to do as a full-time designer. Now, if you're new to this channel, hello, my name's Antony. I've already said my name, but yes, I'm a fashion designer with over 10 years experience in both high-end and fast fashion. And this channel is dedicated to helping you become a better designer or break into the industry. So a lot of people have actually been asking me about my work week and what I actually get up to. And I just thought, you know what? I had a really busy week the other week. Not every week is as busy as what I'm gonna show you, but it is a relatively busy job and you do have to schedule your time and you have to be very organised to be a designer. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help my channel to grow, especially that like button. You have no idea how much it boosts my video and promote it with the YouTube's algorithm. Please also leave a comment because I like to chat to you guys and get to know you a little bit better and build this fashion community up. Alright, okay, let's just jump straight into it. So this is my full work week. Now, as you can see, it's very jam-packed and it's very colour coordinated. I'm quite an organised person. I like to categorise things. I like to make sure that I can see at a glance what I'm doing. Each colour represents something different. I actually work on 3 different areas. I work on jersey, I work on essentials, and I also work on activewear. And each one has its own colours. Yellow is essentials, pink is jersey, and then active here is represented by brown. However, usually it's represented by grey. Brown is actually things that I need to do personally and is not a meeting. I've also got a lot of green, and that is research time, presentation time, and also working on trend books and things like that. From there, I've got orange, which is one-to-ones or meetings with managers or meetings with directors. There's also a red, which is the Christmas team. With all that out of the way, let's actually go through the days so you can see what I do as a designer day to day. Let's start with Monday, and as you can see, it is a jam-packed day. However, I do have time for lunch between 1 and 2, which is great. I start out my mornings by answering all emails and making sure everything's gotten back to. I always allot myself 30 minutes for that. From there, I go into a stand-up meeting, which is kind of for menswear. We're called missions. And it's basically a general catch-up, including design, buying, merchandising, marketing, all of that sort of stuff. We talk about numbers, we talk about figures, we talk about everything like that. From there, I went into a whole research half an hour. So I was researching for phase 5, which is kind of June, July timing for me. And we were doing a short lead time catch-up. So that means anything from Turkey, Portugal, or even Spain, or even the UK. We were having discussions there for a short lead time to try and get it into stores really, really quick. So from there, we go to essential teens catch up. From there, I went into a men's jersey trade meeting. Now, trade is basically when the merchandisers and the buyers pull together what's actually worked over the week, so you've got a bit of information about what you want to design. So everyone's got information really, but I take it as what's been really good, what's been really bad, what do we need to cut out, and what do we need to develop more into. That's kind of what I get from trade. From there, I continued my phase 5 research because after that, I had a phase 5 chat with one of my buyers. Now this was a jersey chat. We were talking about what I wanted to get into stores within the next 12 weeks. I was looking at images, I was looking at research, I was getting inspiration, and I would just talk through what we were missing and what I want in stores ASAP. From there, I usually answer my afternoon emails, but I had to go into a begin development for the 12-week process. And then after that, we went into a range build. Now, as you can see, I've got 2 meetings overlapping, a one-to-one, which usually I have with my manager, and then a range build. Actually, what happened on this day is the range build, because we had so many meetings prior, was really, really quick. So then I could go into my one-to-one and sort of discuss how I feel in my role, how I'm getting on, and it's basically like a general catch-up with my manager. From there, I went on to a design discussion for phase 7. Now this is pre-planning. Phase 7 is kind of like Christmas timing, and obviously I'm working 12 months ahead, so in January I'm talking about Christmas and what I want in. From there, I went on to work on my active Desprez. Now a Desprez is a design presentation, and it's a massive document where I make a pack of images to show suppliers and also the rest of the menswear team about the direction that I want to go in, specifically for active. So active Desprez was actually for spring summer 22, so I'm actually working ahead of myself more than a year in advance. And that was kind of Monday. I finished around 6 o'clock and then had a bit of rest. I will say though, this is just my work week, not my side hustle week or anything like that, because I do have a YouTube channel, which you're watching now. I've got Etsy, I've got Shutterstock, and I've got a bar job. So my time here is not the only time that I'm working. You know, I feel like I'm a very productive individual and I need to keep going, but I like to fill my time with as much as possible because I've got things that I want to do in the future and I need money for that, so I'm gonna have to work hard and save. So the next day I actually went into the office. Now I'm a remote worker, so generally I'm working here in my room majority of the time, and then I will go to my office, which is in Rugby, so I went into the office. So as you can see, it's not as jam-packed. Again, doing my morning emails, and then I've got 2 blue things that I don't need to go to, which was a huddle and a kind of store visualization thing. From there, I went into an underwear and nightwear range build. So this is where we kind of put the actual products on the wall that we've designed and kind of grade it, put it into stores. What do we want? Do we need more color? You know, we really go through the range and sort of decide what's going in store. From there, I went in to discuss Xmas options with the team. So at the place where I'm working, we have our main job, which for me is jersey, active and essentials, and then we also have squads, and these squads mean that you work across loads of different things. So for me, I'm working on a Christmas squad, a Clo 3D squad, I'm working on learning champs, so everyone's getting trained up, and I'm also working across early trends and all of that kind of thing. So I'm on multiple squads, so it's a very busy time. Christmas squad, we were discussing options and what we want. From there, I had lunch, an hour's lunch, always try and get that in, but as you noticed throughout the rest of the week, don't really have time for much of a lunch, but you know, it is what it is. From there, we went into another Christmas meeting where we then discussed what we actually want to do. I also answered my afternoon emails, and then I went into a really good 2.5–3 hour meeting where we were discussing early trend, and we were going through the trend books and what kind of different people were saying, such as WGSN, Scout, Luminary, and all of these kind of trend books, and kind of deciding what we wanted to go after as a business as a whole. And then I drove home 2 hours and was back by around 7–8 o'clock. Then we go on to Wednesday, and that was a very busy day. Started out with fit. Fit is basically where you try it on the body and you critique it. You say if it fits well or if it doesn't, and if it doesn't, you change it. So the first one was jersey fits. Now usually I have a jersey fits and then right after I have an essentials fits for nightwear and underwear. But for some reason this day we didn't have that, so that's why I've got this little section that's not really got anything in. And then went straight into a shape review with one of our suppliers. So we were reviewing shapes and fabrics within this 1 hour set for phase 4. After that, I went into a music moment catch-up. Now, I work on another squad for music, and that's all about licensing. So within that, me and one of my other buyers, Laura, we were just talking about what we wanted and what we wanted to try and get in store and the different kind of music that we want. From there, I went into the mini squad for music moment, and this is where we discussed with the wider team what we wanted, how we were going to deliver it, what we wanted in store, and how many options we wanted. As a designer, you're going into all of these meetings and you're not actually designing as much, but you are having these big top line discussions, so keep that in mind. From there, I went into a Autumn Winter 22 Phase 7 Essentials range control, and that is kind of, it's a discussion about how you want to develop the range, how many options you've got, and what you actually need in store. If you notice, a lot of these meetings are kind of repetitive, but for different areas, you have to have these conversations before you actually start designing. Otherwise, as a designer, we'd go crazy and design loads and loads of stuff, and at the end of the day, we might design 100 things when we only need 12 things for store. And then after that, I went into a phase 7 essentials catch up. So that was with one of my buyers, and we just discussed everything that we discussed in the range control, and then tried to contextualize it with photos on what we actually wanted to go for with inspiration and all of that sort of stuff. From there, I went into a meeting with one of my suppliers. This was basically to discuss a design presentation that I'd presented a couple of weeks prior and discuss what we could actually do, what we wanted and what we needed from our supplier. My job's actually quite good because I come up with these top line des prezes and I present to my suppliers. So it's like a wider design team. They do all the actual drawings in CADs, and then I choose between what the best CADs are and what fits in well within my vision. And then we action samples, I tweak things, I add stuff in. So it's actually quite a nice role where I'm purely research based and I can direct the collection in that way. That's what that meeting was about. So from there, I read through the trend books again. So obviously the day before, I was having a trend catch up with the managers, the directors, all of this sort of stuff, and we were going through the books. Now it was my time to read through, make sure I could digest it and fully understand what information I was being given, so then I could build the trends and build the kind of, what are they called, mood boards. And then after that, I had a free hour, so I decided to continue working on my active boards from Monday and pull them together and kind of decipher what I wanted. So let's talk about Thursday. I had my morning emails catch up, but then I also had to plan Spring Summer 23. And that was basically a continuation of reading through the trend books and kind of plotting out what I wanted. From there, I went on to work on the nightwear and underwear CADs for phase 7, which was basically the discussions that we had the previous day. I wanted to work on drawings and CADs for that thing. Now, I did just say that I don't do all of my CADs. For essentials, I do. So all nightwear and underwear is done by me. From there, I went into another mission stand-up. We have 2 of these a week, one on a Monday, one on a Thursday, and we kind of discuss what we discussed on Monday, but just seeing how the week's going so far, and it's kind of like a top up, so we can say, yes, we're doing really well this week, or no, we're not hitting plan, and over the weekend we've got to really go for it. And then I went into team trade. So again, I have a little team trade update. This was for essentials, but sometimes I would have back-to-back meetings for essentials and for jersey, but luckily today I only have essentials, so after that, I worked on my expenses. Now, as a designer, I have to go out, I go to shops, I buy samples, and I also travel to suppliers, and I have to buy lunch and all of that sort of stuff. And I've got a company card that I use to do all of that. So I have to submit my expenses with receipts and all of that kind of stuff. It's really boring, it's very admin based, but I always have to allot time for that because there's a lot of expenses when you're going to suppliers every other week and you're going on inspiration trips every other week. So yes. From there, I went to review the fashion colours for FBN. Now FBN is basically like our core program. It's for sweats, it's for t-shirts, it's for hoodies, it's for joggers. And we just wanted to review the colours. We've got basic colours, which is like black, white, navy, grey marble. But then we also wanted to review the other colours that we wanted to do for this timing. And then I went on to action phase 7 CADs for nightwear and essentials. Now luckily phase 7 wasn't too big. A lot of things were already actioned for phase 6. So these kind of things, in this little half an hour, all I was doing was finalising things and sending things to the supplier. From there, I went to do afternoon emails, but I didn't really have time to look at emails too much here because I had to go into another meeting, which is all about printed t-shirt production. I went to a meeting with a few different suppliers where we were talking about the production plan and how we wanted to achieve the goals that we needed to do for these basic t-shirts and the kind of print techniques that we wanted on the t-shirts and how we could bring them into cost so they weren't ridiculously expensive for our customers. After this, I had a half an hour break, so this is where I would have had lunch, and then I went into a 28-week novelty range build. Now novelty, what is basically the kind of funny slogans. It's all about kind of the cheeky chappy kind of t-shirts and the novelty aspects of jersey, which actually makes quite a lot of money for the brand that I'm working at. So range build for that, and we were kind of laying out everything on a grid, on a wall, and saying if we liked it, if we didn't like it, and where we wanted to put it in terms of stores. From there, I went on to refine my active boards and work on the active palette. So as you can see, I've slotted in bits of kind of design work and bits of research and working on mood boards and things wherever I could, because I'm so busy in the week that I have to make time for everything. And that was basically the end of Thursday. The next day, I went to a supplier in the afternoon. So that's why today isn't as busy, but I always have a reminder to do a Friday trend flash, which is basically what's going on in the stores, what's happening, is there anything new, anything like that. So the rest of my team are aware what's going on in the market. I also had a jersey catch up. This is just like a half an hour catch up where we discuss what's happened in the week and if we need to finalize anything for this day. And I also try and get all my morning emails done. As you can see, that's 3 meetings overlap. From there, I went into a Christmas design catch up, and this is about any designs that we've had back from our suppliers in terms of the licensing side of it. So I would have emailed suppliers to see if anyone had any research on Christmas for this timing. After that, I went in to finalize my active boards and my palettes. So this was a couple of hours of me just refining everything and making sure it was set, ready for a meeting next week with my manager to go over everything, and then I can really deep dive into my category and tell the supplier where I want to work on. And at that point, I packed up my stuff, left the house and went to a supplier's for the rest of the afternoon. I was there from like maybe 2 till 6-ish, and then I came home and enjoyed my weekend. Okay, so that was one of my busiest weeks as a fashion designer. As you can see, there wasn't a lot of design going on in this week, and we do go through peaks and troughs of design work that needs to be done and actioned and all of that sort of stuff, but basically this was one of my busiest weeks coming back after Christmas. And as you know, after Christmas it's always busy because you need to catch up, and as you can see there was a lot of mini meetings here, so that's what we were doing basically. But overall, that was my work week as a fashion designer. Let me know in the comment section below if you were surprised by the amount of meetings that I have to attend, by the kind of meetings that I have to attend, or if you were surprised by the amount of time that I have to dedicate to these meetings and not physical design. If you want to become a fashion designer, you need to get used to being in meetings, you need to get used to talking, you need to get used to juggling multiple things, because as you've just seen, I'm on 3 different categories: active, essentials and jersey, and also I'm on multiple squads and multiple little sections of designing things. So yeah, overall that's it for today's video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to click that beautiful red subscribe button down below. Please also check out my Etsy shop where you can buy cards and vectors to help support you in your everyday design life, and it really helps support this channel. Otherwise, I'll see you here every Thursday with a brand new video. Alright, okay, thanks for watching. Alright, bye. Tra tra tra. Bye.